What's up, gang? John Johnson, Johnson Signature Group, Exit Platinum Realty, in collaboration with Samseketha Cooper. She's in the
Hey,
building.
hey, y'all. How are you today? Samseketha Cooper, real estate broker, representing Weichert today, and myself, and everyone out there in real estate world and land. We're coming to you again today. This is part two of a series that we're working on to educate, empower, and get you in the know so that you can make better choices with real estate and your life, pretty much. And I'm going to throw it back to John.
Pretty much. And today we're going to talk about the market because I'm sure Miss Cooper, Broker Sam, gets asked all the time. Well, what's the market like? I get asked every day. What's the market like? Not to mention the article just came out today on bankrate.com in case you guys want to fact check about the Fed having their interest meeting coming up on the 21st, their interest rate meeting on the 21st, which is next Wednesday. And it looks like Vegas has it at a 75% chance that we will go through another gargantuan hike again. So, with all of that into perspective, um, Sam, what do you think the market's like? What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What are you forecasting if you could even do such a thing?
So I will say to you this. The interest rates are absolutely going to increase in the next 2.5 seconds. And with those increases, those of you who have been waiting to jump in the water, scuba gear ain't going to get it.
Mm-mm.
Uh, Last year, this time, interest rates were at 3%. Some people with great credit is like 780 and above, got 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're at triple those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to change. I don't want you to keep halting and holding and thinking about it and I'm going to wait. The market is shifting in a negative direction as it pertains to being positive for us. And when I say us, you can take that for however you like. But for us, we are losing buying power by the day. The market is changing by the day. We are not about to have a crash. That's the word I keep hearing. And even the analysts will say to you, oh, market crash. Oh, there's going to be foreclosures. There are foreclosures every day. There are auctions every day. There are people putting their house on the market every day. There are people buying and closing every day. And guess what? Landlords are getting richer every day. So which one do you want to be? I know what I want to be. I know what I am. And you have two very esteemed, knowledgeable, professional, educated, long in the game real estate brokers. No shade to my real estate agents. There is a difference, however. You have two of us here today, and we've been here ready and eager to educate you so that you can make the best decisions for yourself, your family, and the future beyond. The market is changing. If you do nothing else, pay attention. Pay attention to the stock market. Pay attention to the gas station prices. Pay attention to people going to college or not going to college. Pay attention to what people are really buying and investing in. Real estate is still number one. If you can't get it by yourself, maybe you should partner with someone because that's what we see. It used to be one person able to qualify for, say, maybe 250, which was a good number 4 years ago, 5 years ago. 250, I'm going to say 350 is an investor price right now. I'm an investor. John's an investor. We buy things like that for investment purposes to fix and flip, 350 and below, which sounds crazy. So what are you really waiting for? I need you to figure that out or give one of us a call so that we can have a conversation so that we can hear what your story is. Because continuing to wait for the market or real estate's bubble to burst, that's not it. And John can tell you because we have lived through, I might have lived through one or two more than him, but that's just because I'm older. It's just because I'm older. It's not because he hasn't been in the business as long. It's because I'm older. It's the only reason. Where interest rates, when I was purchasing 20 plus years ago, they were 10 and 12%. And we didn't blink. But house prices were 30 and 40 grand. Big difference. So what are you waiting for? The market is what it is, and people are still purchasing, people are still buying. So years ago, one person could qualify. Maybe you have a sister or an aunt, maybe you have someone in your family, maybe your child has come home from college, they've been working for 2 years. Maybe you need to double up on the mortgage application, and we can talk about that at another time. But today, the current market status, the current real estate that is driving prices of oil and gas and stocks is not going to burst anytime soon. Your thoughts, John?
So, no pressure at all, right? We're just addressing the question we get asked: what's the status of the market? And yes, we are talking about buyers, and we will switch gears and talk about sellers as well. But you know, Sam mentioned a very good point. She mentioned the stock market. Is there ever a good time to throw your money into the stock market? For those of you with 401ks and pensions, are you calling your portfolio managers telling them, hey, hold on, don't invest this week? No. There are always buyers. There are always winners and losers in the stock market. Okay. Real estate is the same way. However, you have professionals such as myself and Sam to kind of guide you as far as what investments are better than others, right? And all roads lead to real estate. All roads lead to real estate. Okay? Shelter is one of those things you need to survive. So everything comes back to real estate. With that said, interest rates fluctuate. Okay. Your income will fluctuate. Your job security will fluctuate. So while you are in a position to win, and by win, meaning the ability to get pre-approved and to purchase something, because the majority of and you are renting. So you have to ask yourself, how long will the bleeding continue? How long am I going to keep throwing money into this black hole? Okay. And let's be clear, your first home is not going to be your dream home. Okay. There are levels to real estate, there are levels to lifestyles. Okay. Get in where you fit in and then go from there. Okay. Interest rates are going to keep going up. Go to bankrate.com or tune into CNBC, CNN, whatever news station you can around this time on the 21st next Wednesday. And then you will understand exactly what I'm talking, because the rates will go up again. Right? So if you can get in and purchase something, do it. Otherwise, you're going to find that hole that you were in that we could have pulled you out. It just got a little bit deeper because now your buying power has shrunk a little bit. Right? Inventory is slowly starting to increase slightly, ever so slightly. Okay. We are starting to get back to normal when it comes to post COVID and all that good stuff. But here's one thing my typical first time home buyer or regular home buyer looking to buy their second or third home will now face. The investors will start flying off their perch now. So what does that mean? There's more inventory. Interest rates are rising. Investors aren't making that kind of money they thought they would make, and the accounts they have their money in is not getting the interest that they are accustomed to. So they're going to throw it into real estate. So guess who else you're going to compete against? The investor, who will never step foot in the home that you could have put your family in, They're just hiding money, so they're going to purchase that home that you could have gotten now versus later. There's really no good time to get into real estate. The time is now. Time is now. Okay. And then you shift, you maneuver, you pivot as time goes on. You pivot into another home, you pivot into a refinance, you pivot. And that's where Sam and I come into play because at the end of the day, we don't go anywhere. When we work with our clients, it's pretty much a lifetime membership, if you will. We get them in the house, we keep them in the house, and hopefully we move them on to a bigger and better home. But you guys have to work on getting into the mindset that you have to buy real estate. Okay. I know a gentleman in the business who preaches buy until you die when it comes to real estate. Buy until you die. I love that. I'm going to steal with pride and, you know, buy until you die. But for those of you that are renting and we're really, really, really focusing on our renters out there, every single month that you make that payment, you just contributed to the lifestyle of the person that owns that house, that building, or what have you.
Let me add to that. In a lot of the counties, I know for myself, I'm in Somerset County. I had to think about that for a second. I heavy representation, however, in Somerset, Union, Middlesex, and some Essex. Focus on Somerset County for a moment. I don't know of any of the towns that have rent control. And there is legislation that, of course, is trying to come out in order to get that going. But a lot of these private landlords like myself, we on our own drum. I can ask for whatever I want and you'll pay it because the inventory for rentals has shrunk monumentally. And it's weird that COVID somehow caused that. And the reason why it caused that is because people lost their employment. They lost their ability to earn money. So now those that may have lost their homes or those that maybe were in college ended up having to come home where maybe they were in a smaller community and now they're going to have to come together and maybe instead of there's 3 people in the home, maybe there's 6 people in the home because you can't find a rental unit to cover what you need. Meaning right now, if you were trying to rent a home on average in a decent neighborhood, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, you're over $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a rental still. And the landlord's making money off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even try to get into these garden apartments. I know here, Regency Village, I believe it's called, 2 bedrooms. And when I say 2 bedrooms, I'm talking 2 bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Hardwood floors, kitchen is kind of compacted, small little area for a bistro table, 1,800. And that's not including your utilities. You got 1 parking space. Can't do anything. Can't drill a hole in the wall. Cable is limited. You can't have a washer and dryer in your unit. You got to go out. They may have facilities on ground, but those are all things to think about. When a mortgage, you can get a mortgage, $400,000 home per se, for maybe, depending on your interest rate, depending on your credit, depending on what you've put down, 2,700 if the taxes are low enough and you're not in a flood zone. That's another conversation for another day.
It sure is.
So the goal here is to take you on a path where we open up your mind that you can achieve home ownership. What I hear a lot of times is that, and this goes across all boards, I didn't know. I thought I needed to make more money. I thought I needed to have better credit. I thought I needed to be at my job longer. There are so many I don't knows when the information is out here from professionals like myself and others that we want to give to you. We have no greater joy and reward than being able to talk to you and share with you the information that you need to get you to having your own set of keys for your home. And whether that be a freestanding home or a condo or something of the like, there is no greater reward that I have than to be able to be an assistant in getting you those keys. And if you take nothing away but this from these series that we're doing, we are here to help you. We are here to guide you. We are not asking for money. We are not saying click here, send us a star, here's our Cash App. This is truly us wanting to give back and wanting to give to you what hasn't been given to us and others. There would be so much more home ownership if there were more people who were willing to share their stories, successes, and downfalls, because everything is not always a rose. Sometimes there's some wilted roses, coming along. But the key is, if you have that conversation, if you can just open up your mind just a little bit to understand that you can succeed, because that's the goal. You need a place, you need a roof over your head. You never know if that roof over your head will help to shelter someone in your family. Maybe somebody's sick. Again, maybe someone's coming home from college, or they're moving or transitioning from another state, and they need a room for a couple of months. How beautiful it would be for you to be able to say, you know what, that room where I've got the elliptical machine, because we all have that room with the exercise equipment where the clothes are hanging on, at least I know I do. And how nice would it be to be able to clean that out and be like, you know what, you can stay here for a little while. Maybe they throw you a couple dollars to help with the mortgage, or maybe they're a great cook, just something. How great it would be, though, for you to be able to offer that. So please stop thinking or stop listening to the negative media. And we all know how social media is. It's to push a narrative. I don't hear the narrative in social media for purchasing properties right now. What I hear is, oh my goodness, the interest rates are going up. What do we do? It's the same thing you should have done last year. Think about buying a home. Think about collaborating with someone, making sure that your credit is together. And if for no other reason, you should be looking at your credit anyway. You should be looking at your credit to see what is on it. And it's free. You are entitled to one free credit report annually. And don't hold me to it, but I will get it, and I should know it by heart. It's annualfreecreditreport.com. Does that sound right, John? That's it.
Spot on.
Okay. And you can Google it if not, okay? Or go to one of our pages. How about that? But you're entitled to it free every year, and you would be surprised at how much inaccuracy may be on there. And your numbers should be in line with each other. So if you've got a 710, there should be maybe a 712 or a 709. There shouldn't be 650 somewhere, and then you got an 810 over here. They should be in line. But again, we can talk about that in our credit series, because we're definitely going to have one. So stop thinking the market is gonna crash. Stop thinking that interest rates are going to automatically drop back down to 3%. Not going to happen. People make money off of the interest rates being so high. This is all by design. So take these series as educational, informational services, gratis, aka free, to you to help you succeed.
Right. And, before we let that sink in with the buyers, just understand inflation is when there's too much money flowing in the economy. And the Fed's job is to make sure there's just enough money flowing in the economy. So, in order to take money out the economy, they try to reduce spending. That includes buying a home. That includes maxing out or using credit cards. That includes raising interest rates. So we'll let that sink in for those of you looking to buy or are still waiting for the right time to buy. And hopefully, some of the stuff will start, triggering other thoughts and ultimately motivating you to reach out to myself or Sam. Okay. Now let's switch gears really quickly and talk about our sellers. So there was a tidal wave actually, during the beginning of COVID, where sellers could just put whatever price point they want on their home, and they're guaranteed to get a line out the door once they listed their home. Courts were closed. There weren't any foreclosures happening because our government said, "Hey, sign up for, deferred payments on your mortgage, live free. We'll throw some PPP loans your way so we can kind of get through this pandemic, if you will." I think that ship has sailed. I think it has sailed because I'm starting to see price reductions now for homes that are on the market. So if there are price reductions showing up on the market, that means these far fetched prices are starting to normalize now. It also means that there's other inventory that appraisers are now looking at and considering whether or not your price point or your contract price or that offer is worth as much as the house is worth. So, with an increase in inventory, rising interest rates, do you really think you can wait until next spring to get the price you think you can get today? And do you really think if you were on that moratorium, haven't made any payments, right? And you think or you're a little fearful that you might get a letter in the mail from the bank asking to pay that money back, do you think it's time to call a realtor to kind of save you from disaster? This is the market. Go ahead, Sam.
Let me add to that as far as the moratorium is concerned, for those of you as sellers who have opted to defer your payments. I have been in a couple of closings now where the seller did not know that that money was going to be thrown on the back of the mortgage payment.
Yep.
And I know for one of my clients, they ended up with a $30,000 second mortgage. Doesn't show up on your credit. It's just a little note that you signed that you didn't even realize you were signing, and you thought, oh, you know what, I didn't make these payments, so it's okay. And I'm just going to pick up where I left off, no problem. Now, the problem is that that is a second mortgage that has been attached to your property as a lien, payable and due upon the sale of your property. So there's a lot of misinformation as it pertains to the moratorium and the deferred payments, which is why you would definitely want to speak to a real estate agent and or an attorney before you consider even signing those documents, because they're there. And the people who come out usually to have you, it's a notary. They may call me and say, hey, can you notarize these documents? It is not my job to fully explain to you what this mortgage document is that you have agreed to, because I'm not a loan officer in that capacity. In that capacity, I'm just someone acknowledging a signature. However, too many times of late have I seen that second mortgage by way of loan deferment. So please be careful about that as a seller, because it's real and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's actually, if I'm not mistaken, it's a HUD product. Like, they're going to get their money. So even if you thought that, oh, well, I don't have enough money, they're going to get it. And it is a second mortgage. So, and if you already had another mortgage on the property, it actually bumps up so that it's in second position versus the other mortgage that you may have had. So you truly need to be mindful of that. And if you've got equity, which most of these properties that have sold of, the past 2 years, they have equity. And that's based on the shortage of inventory and people, in some cases, overpaying for the property simply because they had the money to do so. Doesn't mean the property was worth it. It just means that person won the bid. They had the money, the funds, they were able to close. So please just think about that when you're thinking about a deferment. Yes, you should be calling one of us so that we can guide you and have a conversation. And true story, I have someone who was dishonest about a property. This property just went into foreclosure. I asked them several times, the property's empty. They don't live in it. They live out of state. I've been talking to them about this property for a good year. Well, guess what? They were dishonest and said they were making the payments. I'm not really sure why, because it doesn't matter to me. And now all of a sudden the property has been taken away by the bank. And it's unbelievable that this happened because it didn't have to happen. So we are not here to judge. We've all had our ups and downs, as I told you before. We're here to help guide you. We became licensed professionals in order to guide. That's our lifeblood. That is what we breathe on. So allow us to do that. Um, it's a safe space, if you will.
Hmm.
I always, John and I say the same thing. If not us, someone like us, someone that you feel comfortable with, someone that you can have a joke with, or someone that you feel that you can sit down, even if you have to shed a tear and just be in a moment where you can tell your story so that we can try to figure out and pivot where you need to go next. Renting is for some, it is not for all. So this is not to shame anyone who is
Right.
renting.
Right.
Your circumstance is that. We are not here to push you into something that you may not be comfortable or ready for. However, we are here to give you the answers, the education, the know how that we have from our multiple years and decades of experience. Allow us to be that voice for you. Allow us to be that champion to make sure that you're getting what you're supposed to get or guide you or give you the resources. That's what these series are for, to make sure that you have something to look forward to and ask of us. Jot down some notes, if you will, and get back to us. And if we don't have the answer right away, we'll send you a text, a tweet, we'll call you, we'll do a FaceTime or something so that you can see our faces and see the inflection and the inference in our voices, so that you will get what you're deserving of. And you are deserving of accurate information, you're deserving of time, you're deserving of a chance. And that's what these series are for.
Absolutely. And Sam, I think we hit him in the head with a lot today. The simple question of what's the market like? As you can see, it's not a short answer. It's not a short answer. And we probably covered maybe a tip of the iceberg as far as the market, how it works, and all that stuff. Um, but again, you are more than welcome to join us throughout this series as we are here to help you. And we're trying to do it in little bitty segments so it sinks in. You guys can digest it, come back to us, call us at one of the two numbers, or call both numbers and have a conference call for that matter. Who cares? Get us both on the line, right? Get us both on the line. You know,
That's
we're
it.
here to help you. We appreciate you guys for joining us this week, and we'll see you guys next week.
Absolutely. Make sure you reach out to us, okay? We wish the best for you. We hope you are well, and we're praying to see you soon, okay? Take care.
See ya.